Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. We're here today with the Integrative Health Coach Success Podcast. This is episode 250 of the show. So excited to get into a topic that I think will carry through from last week. So last week we talked about creating a thriving solo practice as a health coach, as an integrative health practitioner, an IHP, might be as a chiropractor, might be as an acupuncturist, might be as a personal trainer, could be any health-based profession in the world. And, it is such an amazing industry, this health and fitness organization, an industry, and that's because there's so many possibilities. Like you could be a personal trainer plus a massage therapist, a personal trainer plus a health coach, an acupuncturist plus a health coach. Like you can add on the health coach designation, obviously through a good certification, to whatever you're doing, and add that to your repertoire, which opens up a whole new realm of possibilities. And that's what we love people to do inside of IHP. And we, of course, teach that as well. But what I want to share with you is that if you want to be a solo practitioner, and there's nothing wrong with that at all, keep in mind I was a solo practitioner for the first 10 years. I think it might have been 10 years, like around 97. Of course, I know I was doing it part-time in college and so undergrad. But then if I think about that through about 2007, I was doing consulting, but let's say a decade on my own for sure. All right. So when you look at that, you have to know certain things in order to make your business viable. That means that you don't have to hire all these different people, like when you have a big organization, but it is important because you're going to be filling those roles. That's kind of said like, sometimes called wearing all these different hats, right? So there's you as the practitioner, but it's not enough. Like you need to be a great practitioner, no doubt about it. But you have to think about that. You have to think about your business as a whole, right? You have to think about the overall vision for your business. What do you want it to be? Where do you want it to go in a year from now? 2 years from now, 3 years from now? I mean, at Equalife, at IHP, we're always asking those things. We're trying to say is, where's the industry now? Where do we want it to be? Because of what our community, our clients are asking us every day. Like they want us to get better. We want to get better and we want to move the whole industry forward. I think that that's an amazing thing. So you as the practitioner are the CEO, meaning like you're the chief executive officer of your business. You run and have final say in everything that gets done. So you have to step out of yourself sometimes as a practitioner and say, what am I looking to create in this business? For whom? Why? Who does it serve? Where do I want it to go? And these are all things to ask yourself, meaning like if you're in a car right now, on a walk, it's okay. You don't have to do this right now, but I'll keep this podcast short, this video short so you can come back to it. And what I want you to do is begin to journal. You don't have to have all the answers. I've never had all the answers. That's the thing. I've always gotten started without all the answers. But also, I don't have all the answers today. And that's why I've had executives on my team asking me, what's your 5-year vision? I can't give you the 5-year vision. The future is happening too quickly. Too many things are changing. I would have never thought I would be where I am today 5 years ago. I mean, Equalife was just literally being built on the back of my Boston clinic. My front desk people were ordering, getting all the items, wheeling them to the post office and shipping them people all over the world. Like it was pretty wild. So I don't want to share with you like what a 5-year vision is, but I can tell you for sure what my 1-year vision is. I can tell you what for sure my 18-month is, and maybe even 3-year, but I keep my 3-year flexible. But you should have a vision for where you're going. That's the CEO, okay? Now the COO, if you're not familiar with big business organizations, the COO is the Chief Operating Officer. They're the person that's not necessarily the practitioner or the front face of the business, but they are someone that is crucial to supporting the CEO. They're the person that takes the vision and integrates it into the business, that makes it happen. I am not a very good operationals person. I know what needs to get done, but I am not the everyday in it, that type of activity. It's never been me. And it, like, it's not part of my DNA. Can I do it? Of course. I'm telling you right now, I did it for 10 years. But once I was able to, I hired a part-time manager. It was always like one of my head personal trainers, a head nutritionist, a head health coach. I did that in every single business. My studio, my wellness center, and Equalife. Always did that. Like, that's what I did. And I was already paying this individual for their sessions, right, for their appointments. And then I paid them for their operational hours to oversee then a growing team. So you don't need it right away, right, as a solo practitioner, but you need to know all the different operations of your business, right, which I'm going to get to next. It's like when someone enters their name on the website, like, where does it go? When they fill out the form, who gets back to them? What's the email template? How many days turnaround is that? Do you answer emails on the weekend? Do you not? It's like, it's just all the different nuts and bolts, like how you integrate, how you make commissions from all your favorite products. That's the operations. It's all of the moving pieces of the business. Again, I can see those moving pieces as a CEO myself, but I'm not a great COO, which is why I've always known my strengths and I know my weaknesses. And my weaknesses are operational, which is why I have amazing operators in all three of my health companies. Equalife, my own private practice and media company, which is basically StephenCabral.com, and then IHP. Great operators make my life easier, again, but you have to get there. And if you choose to, that's okay, because you don't have to. Being your own COO just means you know all the moving pieces within your business. Now, the CTO is something different. That's the Chief Technology Officer. Now, again, these are all on a lower level. And again, for me, I've always just built up a little bit more every year. And I've been doing this now for about 25 years. So it's like, it's just little incremental growth. There's a really nice word that I believe has its origins in Japan called Kaizen. And it's just slow, steady progress towards a worthy ideal. And that's basically how I live my life for health and for, everything. And the CTO, though, is the Chief Technology Officer. So basically it's, how does your website operate? Where do you purchase your URL? How do people opt in with their email address and then get emails from you? How do they get automated messaging to be able to schedule on your calendar for their free consultation? How do they get their follow-up emails? How do you set up your own email? Again, if you're running the whole show yourself without any freelancers or help, you need to be your own Chief Technology Officer as well. And all this might seem overwhelming, but it's not. It's basically what happens is when you start a business, you say, I don't know how to do this. And then you go online and you find out how, or you hire a coach, or inside of IHP, we teach many of these things as well. And whether it's the business mentorship experience, or maybe it's inside of our complimentary business course that every IHP one graduate gets. And so these are all things that you need to know inside of your business to make it not only functioning, but also stress-free. Like when you know where to look for these things and how to set them up, most of them then become automated after a certain period of time so that you can just focus on your clients, which is really what you want to be doing as a practitioner. Now, the next hat you have to be wearing is the CFO, which is the Chief Financial Officer. This is not one of my favorites, nor has it ever been, and I've always outsourced this when I could. A Chief Financial Officer is the one who looks at all of the invoices that need to be paid, right, that you need to pay, and also the money coming in from your appointments. And you need to make sure, of course, at the end of the month that there's more money than there is month, right? You don't want to have more expenses than you do actual income coming in. So what I've always done is run a very lean operation. Like to this day. Now, again, we have a lot of expenses, of course, with all three of my companies, but we always make sure that, again, like if it's a company like Equalife, where the goal is to grow the largest virtual functional medicine company in the world, helping the greatest number of people, including our IHPs, we reinvest every dollar back into that business. And people think we're crazy, and that's okay. Because sometimes, though, it's the mission that you're on is more important than the profit you're putting in your pockets. Like you have to make money, don't get me wrong. Like I still make an income, don't get me wrong. But every dollar goes back into the business because I can't reveal everything that we're trying to do because it would, it's not good. It's not good for our current community because then you want it sooner, right? And it's not good for the overall landscape because more people know what you're trying to do and you're trying to get to that place faster so that, in my opinion, we can do it the right way and with the right intention, because some people don't always have the right intention, right? And so, but the truth is, you need to be financially responsible. And so even if you want to give all your money away to charity, well, you still have to make money in order to be able to do that, right? And so what I've always done is I've always make sure that I understand that this number of appointments need to be done, like in my practice, in order to be able to pay for my rent and electricity and all those things. And you should come up with your own spreadsheet yourself. You need to basically have a basic spreadsheet of what's your total overhead every month, try to keep that as low as possible. And then how many appointments you need to get paid for, not hours done, but actually paid for, in order for you to be able to pay for that. Then anything over that potentially is profit, which is great, right? Because then you can either reinvest in your business, or you pay yourself a salary, which of course you should do. So that's important. And to this day, Equalife has our CFO, but in my other businesses, we have a bookkeeper or someone that works as a part-time accountant, and they help with all of those transactions. Regardless, I do think it's very important that every CEO is a meeting with their CFO or bookkeeper every single week so that you have an idea of the financials of your business. Never completely outsource that. Bad things always happen. You miss things, and businesses can go awry when you're not keeping a good eye on it, okay? And the last C executive suite, the last C-suite title is the CMO, and that is the Chief Marketing Officer. Now, I think you probably know what that means, but marketing means that, okay, the COO runs operations, the CTO runs all the technology in your website, all those integrations, the CFO makes sure that there's more money, right, than there is month, and the CMO, though, makes sure that you're actually bringing clients into the business in order to pay for all of these grandiose ideas and obviously your life, right? Because everybody needs to make a salary. And so the marketing, you need to be your own marketing person if you have a solo practice. And so I've taught this on many previous podcasts, so you can go back, of course, and listen to the previous podcast at ihp.coach/podcasts. But it's really important that you know how to bring in a consistent flow of clients every month. Because if you don't, well, you're off on your own. You have your own business, but some weeks you might not have any new clients. You need to make sure that at the end of the month, you hit the number that you're looking for of new clients each and every month, whether it be from social media, speaking, podcast, writing, referrals, word of mouth, all of those things, right? Anything and above, you need to make sure that you're bringing in at least whatever it is for you, 1 new client a week, right? 2 new clients a week, whatever works for you. And that's the CMO role. And so it's your job then, again, to outsource any of these areas that you need to. Not obviously, you don't need to hire a CEO, COO, all those things. You might hire someone to help with marketing or someone to help with your technology. You don't need the full scope of that individual, but you should know what you're hiring for and then be able to outsource that as a temporary based job to set up a website or to set up your QuickBooks or to set up, any one of these things could be a setup fee rather than an ongoing fee as well. And the last one, I'd be remiss if I didn't say this, you just always have to be great at customer service. So while that's not necessarily a C-suite level position, don't allow your direct messages on social media to sit there for days. People are asking you questions, right? There are potential clients that you want to help. Don't let someone that emails you go, again, 3 days without getting back to them. Being good at customer service is one of the most important things that you can do in business. My team knows that it drives me crazy if we don't get back to someone the very same day. Now, if they ask a question at 4:59 at night, that can be a challenge, of course. But over normal circumstances, we try our very best to get back to people that same day, even if it's hundreds of emails deep, which it typically is. So I did this podcast not to frighten you or scare you or any of those things, just because keep in mind, I was in business for about, I don't even know, a decade before I hired any of these, that's for sure. And then a part-time COO, like operations person, they weren't a COO, I was just a general manager of my business. And then after that, slowly started integrating some of these other principles as well. What I want to tell you though, is kind of looking back now where I was, is that it is crucial that no matter what, whether you hire these positions or not, that you learn them for yourself first. It's tedious. You might not be great at them like I wasn't great at them. It might not come as naturally to you like it didn't to me, but you need to know them because eventually one day if you do hire for them, you know what to look for, you know what to delegate, and you know what's a good job and what's not a good job. So hopefully today's show was helpful. This was episode 250 of the Integrative Health Coach Success Podcast. Head on back, check out the previous 249 at ihp.coach/podcasts. Love to hear your comments and what you've been thinking of the show. Thanks so much, everybody. Have an amazing rest of the week.